Hiya guys, and welcome back to Eight's Workshop. So this Webster engine, well, the good news is I think this episode will see an end to it. It won't see it run, but it'll see an end to it, and it'll be completely finished. And of course, as we all know, I've got other projects waiting to go. The mini lathe, I will be getting back to that, and of course I've got the little cutter grinder as well. So there's lots to do moving forward, but I would have thought after this one there'll probably be one, perhaps two more episodes. If the engine doesn't work, there'll probably be two more. If it does work, then we'll see it run fairly shortly, but not in this episode. This one's going to be a short one. So I'll show you where I am with it as we go through this video. A few little bits to make. One part I had to make 3 times. But anyway, this episode will show a close to all the making, all the assembly of the machine. So I'll take you along with the ride. So I've got somewhere around here a Church Mill wood drill, but I've checked I'm not hitting my slot, as you can see. Mark it out, centre popped it, let it find. But with this sort of hardwood, as long as I keep clearing the flutes, the standard cobalt drill does the job. Okay, last hole. I'm going to put some counterballs in the underside so that I can get a 6mm nut and socket in, because I need to be able to drop the nut. Okay, so it's just I'm going to run the sander back over this again after anyway. So, underside here, which is the base, it's not as flat. Need to see what size I need now for a 6mm socket. And you know what? I think my quarter drive 6mm sockets, where have I got one? 10mm socket quarter drive. Have I got one here in the shed? Or have I got to bring it home from work? I do not know. I really do not know. I'm going to have to go looking for one, aren't I? So you'd have seen me make the little handle in last week's video, and as I was tightening it down, I snapped it off. Okay, this one was actually the second iteration of it. So, oh well, if at first you don't succeed, try again and all that. So I think make another one, identical, but I'm going to leave more meat on the side walls just to give it more strength. So, right, that's one for the bin, and start again. So third time lucky, made another one with a bit more meat on the side walls. Made the end a little bit smaller on it as well, but yeah, I think we should be good now. There's a lot more strength in this one than there was in the older one. So onwards and upwards. So don't think I've shown this, the drive dog for starting the engine. So this part is going to fit on the end of the crankshaft of the engine. I have milled a flat on the crank, so basically a little 2-lug drive dog. And this part will fit in an electric drill, so it's going to sit on that sort of distance off the end of the crank, back a little bit more. So electric drill can come along and rotate the engine to start it. If the engine starts and rotates on, let me try and show. If the engine starts and try and rotate on, it'll push the drive dog out of engagement. So that's the idea. Yeah, if I rotate that the back the other way, you can see it slides up those shoulders and won't drive. So yeah, it's no chance of me having to pull it out quick. So there we are, that's a little drive dog. So 45 on the back of there, 45 on the back of there. I did mill a straight key first, and I went a little bit deep, but it does slide up the keys already easily. So I do need to put a grub screw in here, straight down in from the top, in the middle of this large area here. Probably M5, I think I'll probably go for that. I'll have a look, see what'll fit. M6 if I can get away with it. So it's locked on there solid. So I'll see what grub screws I've got, and we'll drill and tap a hole down into there to lock it on the flat on the shaft. So I just had a look through my grub screws. I got an M5, I looked at M6, it's a bit overkill. M5 is going to be. So I'll drill and tap an M5 hole. So I picked up the spot. Just a little centre drilled hole first. 4.2 drill. Oh dear, where are we? There you go. I'll have to send my head up a bit. Okay, and grab an M5 tap. So M5 tap in the chuck, just turning the chuck by hand. Just got my hand on the quill handles, just letting it follow down, no pressure either way really, just relieving any pressure off the tap. Okay, that's well and truly down into that 8mm bore now. Again, not letting the tap break out at the end, just letting it follow. Okay, there we are, M5 hole in there, so should be able to bring it away. Just try the grub screw in the hole. There we are, nice straight thread in there. Grub screw goes in, no problems. So, little bits. I actually think on the engine that part, that last drilled and tapped hole is pretty much it. So the engine is actually up in the house. I haven't got it down here with me. I think I'll deburr this now, go and do a bit of assembly, maybe bring the engine down and show you where we are at this particular stage. So I've lost some footage, so I've got to explain what I did. I sanded it all over with an orbital sander, as you saw, champers a lot, drilled the 4 holes. I went over it then with 000 wire wool, which actually did cut as well. Sort of, there was sawdust coming off on edges, corners, champers, surfaces, that sort of thing. And then I finished it off. It's had 3 coats of this, six hours perhaps between coats of Danish oil, natural Danish oil, so there's no colouring in that or anything. It could be buffed up now. I think it was about 6 hours since I did the last coat, so I think it's got enough on it. I may have to put a bit more around the outside, but that's it pretty much coated, so that's the base done. So I did lose the footage, or I've lost quite a bit of footage. Typically what I do is when I finish filming in the shed, I'll upload everything off the camera and wipe the lot. What I hadn't realised is that I'd done some extra filming, looked at the camera, thought I'd already saved that and wiped the lot. So this is part and parcel, the staining of this, or oiling of this I lost. And I did quite a bit more polishing on the engine, so I'll come back to the engine now and show you where we are with that. So as I stated before, you can probably see in the corners and what have you, I've used hot melt glue and stuck everything to the underside, so all the wiring is in place. I may have to make some little clamps or what have you for the rest of the wiring, but it all does sit down nicely when I sandwich it between the two plates. Power outlet here I can remove from the outside and fit the power source in to recharge the battery unit. I can access the on-off switch. Power lead comes down through here from the little pickup on the cam, so that connects up. I tested it all still works. Spark plug lead runs up through the slot. I've got the 4 rubber mounts fitted, so I'll drop it onto the plate now, show you how that goes, and yeah, we'll show you the final assembly. So I'm at that point where I need to get some petrol, I need to lube it up, and I need to give it a try. I've had the whole thing stripped down to bits, all put back together, fitted the new lever that you saw me made a little earlier. This one's fitted in position. Both levers this way would be the run position, that's choke, and that also would be throttle closed. So choke on, throttle on, that'll be a starting position, and obviously I can rev it up like that. That's the choke open, so the choke inoperative, and that would be full throttle, so both levers this way would be the flat out position. So yeah, I mean, it's all nice and shiny. I did get on well with that mother's polish, that worked well. There was a lot of elbow grease went into this. When it was finished, things like the carburetor and fuel tank all went through the ultrasonic cleaner, all the little jets, everything stripped to bits and cleaned before I reassembled the fuel system. And now anything that needs to be Loctited in place has all been done. So yeah, sometime during this week now. Oh, the starter dog, that's in now with its screw. You saw me do that. So yeah, that's that in position. I think I've got the other half here somewhere. There it is. That's the bit that goes in the drill, so that would then allow it to be cranked over, and obviously if the engine starts it'll push it back off again. So that's the little starter that's going to go in a drill. I haven't lubed it all up. It has got some oil in it, so I could just make sure it's got a bit of oil in the cylinder here, and just show you the cranking over. I've timed it up as best I can. So at around 15 degrees, about this point before bottom dead center, in fact, one rev out. Okay, so at about 15 degrees before bottom dead center is when the exhaust valve opens, and then rockers open right up, and then just as it hits top dead center, the rocker, I think that's it there, yeah, the rocker disengages at top dead center, so it shuts the exhaust valve. Compression stroke, exhaust valve shut, and as I get just before top dead center, it's about there, I'd line the magnet up on the little pickup, so that's the point where it'll spark. It's just before at the moment. In fact, it's sort of on that top dead center where there's a bit of backlash. It's that sort of area, so we'll see how it goes on that. Yeah, you know, it's as far as I'm aware where it is, there's a few little niggles, little things I want to polish up, little things that, you know, now everything's polished that stand out as not polished quite so well. The top of this could do with a bit of work. In fact, I think that's probably about the worst spot. So that, yeah, the top of this bridge needs a bit of work. That's it. It's finished. Need to run it now. Need to try it out. So if I spin it round, just you can see the spark plug comes up on the end here. You know, everything in. Fuel pipes are in. Levers are in for the throttle. Everything's on, done. Let's flick round this side of the engine. You can see the crank there. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much finished, ready for its first little bit of polish left on there, ready for its first trial run. Whether it runs or not, we don't know. We're not going to know until we put fuel in it. But I think the big reveal of that is for another episode. Well, there we are, guys. Only a very short one this week, I'm afraid. Losing that footage didn't help. Anyway, with that said, we are not that far away, as you can see. If I got some petrol, I think I'm at a point where I can try it out now. I might have to mess with timing settings. I may have to sort of relook at compression. Who knows? There could be a million and one or 101 reasons why it won't start and run, or if it does start and run, why it's not running sweet. So we can look into that as we move forward. But what I'll do is get some petrol, get it set up, hopefully, fingers crossed, it runs. Then I can play with the tuning, and then the next time you see the engine, hopefully it'll be running. So if it's a couple of weeks before you see it again, you know why. So yeah, there's not much I can do about that, but hopefully we're okay. Anyway, with that said, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you all very soon, when we'll probably be getting on with a mini lathe and maybe even the cutter grinder. Cheers now.